Hello, my name is Jeevan Rego, writer director of Fiendmare. If you haven't watched the film, make sure to watch it first before you watch this video because the film is shorter than this one. So the concept for this film is actually heavily drawn from Christopher Nolan's short called Doodlebug. It's on YouTube, you can look it up. Fiendmare actually took over 2 months from start to finish. So initially I had some restrictions for myself when I penned down the story. I had rules like I wanted one person, one location, and one person to shoot the entire thing. So based on that, I came up with this. Yeah, this is the best I could come up with. Anyway, I actually didn't write down the story. I storyboarded it first. I planned out the shot and how where the camera would be placed because the movie was shot inside my apartment. So I knew where exactly everything was, and here are some pictures of it that you see, and the final movie does have some similar shots. The only real problem that I had while writing the story down is I couldn't come up with a proper ending, so I had multiple versions of it, and I took some input from Pradeep, who is also the actor in the film, and then eventually I settled down on what you are seeing in the movie. Filming Fiendmare was actually planned for a color film, and in the end, I ended up doing a black and white film with a 4:3 aspect ratio. So when we filmed it with a 16 by 9, and for a color version, I originally wanted a faded look, like a rusty sort of feel to it, which made it look like a old movie, but not really black and white. It was actually during the editing phase that I decided to make it a black and white film. So there were a couple of reshoots to do and full-time jobs and mismatching schedules. That's why it took almost 2 months to finish. There are two VFX shots in the film. One is the bloodstained ceiling and another one is the demon. The ceiling part was actually easy to do because we just shot the fan and the ceiling and then added the bloodstains in post. It actually took us 4 nights to summon the demon with some candles and writing on the walls. Now the demon is me, actually my inner demon. So we actually filmed it like this, and then I roto brushed it out. You can notice the roto brushing didn't actually work very well on my hands, so it was just too much work, and I'm not too good at VFX, so I just left it in there. For the music, I originally planned to create my own music, but I have zero experience or knowledge about music, so I posted on my social media that I'm looking for composers, and the total responses I got was one. In between that, I tried composing my own music with a piano app, and nothing worked out. So in the end, I just ended up using free music from YouTube. Although some sound effects were recorded by myself, for example, the running scenes in the forest, the sound of the demon. The sound of the demon was actually me growling and breathing heavily, and some effects in the editing software. The crow sound was actually downloaded, and I used it because I thought the crows are associated with evil. To give it a old black and white effect, I cropped the aspect ratio to 4:3. I added some grain and a little blur, and then I toned down the saturation. Of course, it took some trial and error until I got a result that I was happy with. The film was entirely shot on a Nikon D5300 with a combination of a 50 mm prime lens and a standard 18 to 55. To record the audio, I used the Zoom H1, and for editing, I used Adobe Premiere and After Effects. So yeah, I think I've covered almost everything, and coming to the questions, half the people didn't understand what it was, and half the people couldn't pronounce the name. The proper pronunciation is Fiendmare, where the Fiend stands for demon and mare is derived from nightmare. And story, I'll just leave it to you.